Let's start with Manchester United and the job that Michael Carrick has done, though. Today was amazing in a lot of ways because, first of all, the result at Stamford Bridge, it's obviously never easy to beat Chelsea there. The biggest thing, though, is that he did it without any center backs. I mean, you've got Jaden Heaven starting this in as well as Mazraoui, and you're talking about a wing-back who's got to hold this down against, yes, it's a Chelsea team that hasn't been performing offensively well recently, but they've got weapons.
Yeah, first and foremost, full congrats to Michael Carrick for showing a bit of character, because I thought he got outclassed and outperformed by Daniel Farke at Old Trafford in that shocking performance and shocking result against Leeds United. When you talk about the players that weren't there, I mean, I was looking to say, who the hell do they have left, right?
We were trying to figure out who would they even start.
Injury, and Harry Maguire, his leadership and impact on this team cannot be understated. But you have to give full credit to Aiden Heaven for how he stepped up today. But it's bigger than that. Michael Carrick is bringing good vibes back and winning culture and winning mindset back to Manchester United. They didn't play their best match. Far from it today. I thought Chelsea had probably the better chances overall, especially late on. But there is this winning formula that he's had. And for me, it's in the front line, right? This team in the midfield and to the front, that front six, they are the heart and soul of Manchester United. And when you look at the body of work Michael Carrick has done, I mean, he is getting respect and putting respect back on Manchester United's name. Going back to what they've done, this is their first win at Stamford Bridge since 2020. You go back to the win against Arsenal, their first win since 2017 at the Emirates, the massive result against City. I mean, Manchester United in Champions League football, I think we can start maybe putting one hand on the cassette player. Yes, I said cassette player because I would like to get one for Christmas, but cassette player at home and maybe start hearing the Champions League anthem. But there's only one big story for me. It's not Michael Carrick. Today was all about Bruno Fernandes.
I don't think there's a doubt, right? I mean, 18 assists right now. He is so close to that single-season assist record. And I think he's got to be in the conversation for player of the season this year. Yeah, I mean, you look at some big goal scorers in terms of, you know, Haaland and Thiago. Declan Rice is in that conversation. But to do what he's done and keep Manchester United in a Champions League position and in a pretty good spot right now for it, is he the player of the season?
For me, I've said this before, there's no argument to be made for me. When you look at midfielders and players in the Premier League, for me, it's Bruno Fernandes, and then there's literally everybody else playing for scraps and playing just to be recognized as the second best player in all of English football. And you might say that, okay, it should be someone who wins the league, right? Someone who's on Arsenal or Manchester City. But for me, without Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United would be nowhere near the conversation we're talking about European football. I'm going to throw some numbers at you. So since Michael Carrick has come over, this is the 13th goal that Bruno Fernandes has been a part of, right? And when you look at the body of work, that's now 21 assists in all competitions for me. When I look at Bruno, I see someone who looks like he is rewriting the history books and the record books, not just with Manchester United, but the entire Premier League. I have no doubt in my mind that he's too shy of Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry's record. He will break it.
Yeah.
There's 5 matches left in the Premier League. For a Manchester United side, that when you look at the teams they have left, they have a Liverpool match coming up that's big. They will be up for that one. Bruno Fernandes is the heart and soul of this team. He is the heart and soul of this club. He's a leader. He's a difference maker. And when you watch him play football in the Premier League, Alex, I'm just say this, everything about him and everything about the way he makes football and plays football, it just makes sense.
I'm with you. I don't think there's any doubt that they wouldn't be where they are in any way, shape, or form without United. Let's turn it over, though, to Chelsea, because Liam Rosenior is really running into a bit of a rough spot and a roadblock. He started out strong, and now this is a team that has not been able to find the back of the net. Where are they right now, and is there any way they can turn this around to potentially, you know, solidify a European spot when it's all said and done?
Yeah, it's shocking from Chelsea right now because you really could see they're devoid of confidence all over the pitch, devoid of confidence in the final third. And when you look at all those losses, I mean, we're now looking in the league, right? We're now looking just all around. It's 4 in a row that we're looking at in terms of just losses in English football for the first time in 2 decades plus. So that's not good enough for Chelsea. It's not the Chelsea standard. But the problem for Chelsea that I see is not just Liam Rosenior. I've always had my doubts about the way Liam Rosenior got the job. And when you're a young manager and you get the job, you're always going to say yes. And, you know, you're opportunistic, and I thought he was opportunistic in saying yes to the job. Of course you're going to say yes to it. But I see a Chelsea side, and I'm going to say this, they look like they're not playing for the manager. They look like a side that can't wait for the season to be over. And if you can't beat a Manchester United side without so many of their defenders, a United side that looked really poor against Leeds United, a United side that this was a big match for them, you don't deserve Champions League football, in my opinion, for Chelsea. If you can't even get the better of Manchester United when they're weakened today, and when you look at the amount of chances they created, yes, okay, the shots is one thing, but it's a lack of a cutting edge that has me worried about Chelsea and any chance of hearing the Champions League anthem.
Mike, it's been a few months, but we know what happens in terms of big-time football clubs. Could Bluco already be looking at potentially replacing him going into next year?
Yeah, look, we definitely could be in the conversation for new manager, but my big problem with Chelsea right now, when you look at their players, there's not enough quality in terms of execution in the final third for me. If you're Chelsea and you're going to close the gap on the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United, you need to get goals. The back line isn't good enough for me. Wesley Fofana was shocking yet again. Jiro Hato looked like he was chasing shadows, but it's in the final third. Enzo Fernandez aside today, maybe even Moises Caicedo aside at times, it's not good enough from the likes of Cole Palmer. And I want to dig out Cole Palmer a little bit because I know he's had injury issues. But when you are now going 1 goal in your last 10 matches, when you had a shocker at Wembley for the Three Lions, I worry about Cole Palmer's place, not just in the Premier League, just midfield pantheon right now this season, but for England. I think his very place for the English national team, if he keeps up this sort of poor form, if I'm Thomas Tuchel, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, maybe I don't take you to the World Cup.
That's incredible. We know the form that, let's say Morgan Rogers has been in. He's been the favorite for Thomas Tuchel in that 10 role. It'll be very interesting to see. Yeah, Harry Kane has played all over the pitch for Bayern Munich. Maybe he finds his way in there. Do you think the mood of what's going on right now outside of the field, Bluco out, all of these protests by the supporters here for Chelsea Football Club, is that having a tangible effect on their performance on the field?
Yeah, I feel for Chelsea fans because they give everything to the club, and you think of the highs of winning the FIFA Club World Cup, the champions of the world, right? That was such a high. I remember covering that here at the Golazo Network, and I couldn't believe the football they were playing. I was on with Ian Joy when we were on Scoreline, and we were saying that, man, Chelsea are far off from winning a Premier League title in the next 5 years. I was thinking in the next 2 years. But if I'm a Chelsea fan right now, I don't have much to look forward to. I think the likes of Iqbali are ruining Chelsea Football Club. It's a big problem, and we see this all throughout world football, especially at storied clubs who are used to winning things, who are used to winning trophies and advancing the project to the next level. When you don't have people who know how to run football clubs, who know nothing about football, putting their blueprint and putting their fingernails and fingerprints all over a football club, you have a disastrous situation. I see nothing but a Chelsea side who are now not just looking ahead of them, but now they have to look over their shoulder. If you look at the table, Bournemouth, I think they're unbeaten in their last 13 matches. They're right there with Chelsea. They're 4 points off of Champions League football. Brentford, they're a difficult team to play against. I value, and I think those two teams, right now in terms of form, right now in terms of just quality, are better than Chelsea in that mix.